Hello, I'm Seattle Witch. I'm a Diablo partner and content creator on Twitch. Recently, myself, a handful of other content creators and members of the media were given access for a 10-day preview to the full game of Diablo IV. In this preview, I focus on one character, a rogue. There'll be no story spoilers in this video, but I will go through the different endgame mechanics and activities. For this preview, we were able to experience the full story for the first time. Typically, I'm not a lore person. I'm endgame focused, and I don't typically watch cutscenes or listen to dialogue. I did watch the first few cutscenes, and honestly, I was blown away. Ultimately, I decided to skip the rest and watch them for the first time with chat on stream at launch. But the story and the scenes are so good. I love horror games, and I don't typically think of Diablo as a horror game, but I was honestly spooked and creeped out several times while playing this. There were some things that had me absolutely shook, things I did not see coming, and I can't wait for you guys to experience it as well. Okay, so what is the end game like? In the next part of this video, I'm going to go over the endgame mechanics and activities. If you don't want that to be spoiled, this is the time to like and subscribe and go do something else. Once you finish the campaign, which ends around level 38 to 40-ish, there are still a lot of things to do in the game. Mounts and the Tree of Whispers are unlocked during the campaign. Helltide and Nightmare dungeons unlock once you do the first capstone dungeon and unlock World Tier 3. So let's get into it. So let's talk about mounts. The addition of mounts in Diablo IV, a first in the franchise, has created a lot of buzz, and they really do work really well and help getting around Sanctuary in a timely manner. You only need to complete the campaign once to unlock the mount, and each character will then have access to it right away moving forward. Once you've reached level 30, you will soon receive a priority story quest, at which time you'll be instructed to visit the Stable Master. At the Stable Master, you can purchase fancier mounts with in-game gold, and mounts and upgraded armor will be available in the in-game shop. The mount is smooth and easy to use. You can pick up herbs and open chests while still mounted. You can spur your horse to go faster if you need to evade some enemies, because you have places to go and things to do. You get 3 charges to spur them on. You can also dismount in combat, which is pretty cool when you can't get away from those monsters. The next endgame mechanic you will unlock is the Tree of Whispers, which will be revealed through the story. You can complete dungeons and events around Sanctuary to earn Grim Favors. You can hold 10 Grim Favors at a time, and once you have 10, the events will all be grayed out until you go to the tree. Once you get to the tree, you can receive a cache of your choice. The caches rotate on what they offer, and there is usually 1 greater cache with more items and 2 smaller caches. All of them will have at least 1 legendary piece of gear and maybe a glyph. I usually check what I need most from my build and then select which cache that I want. Helltides are events which open regularly for 1 hour in varying areas of the map. During Helltide, you make your way around the area killing monsters and doing events in the open world. It doesn't extend to the dungeons or cellars in the area. The area is dark and red, meteors rain from the sky, and the monsters seem extra dangerous. As you kill enemies and interact with chests and herbs that you come across, you'll collect a material called Aberrant Cinders. There are chests called Tortured Gifts placed around the Helltide area, which give different types of rewards for your cinders. Chests will tell you what type of item is inside, be it gloves, weapons, pants, rings, and they require differing amounts of cinders starting at 75. You can usually receive better items from a higher amount chest, but that also means you need to stay in the Helltide longer. One thing to know is that if you die during Helltide, you lose a portion of your cinders, and there is a boss that roams around and he will hunt you down. From my experience, he is typically more difficult to fight than a dungeon boss. When there is an active Helltide, you'll get a message on screen alerting you that Helltide has arisen in Sanctuary. You can open your map and see the area in red on the map. Notice it's a darker red than the PvP areas. Helltide is active for 1 hour, and if there is a schedule for it, I haven't been able to determine what it is. It just shows up on and off throughout the day. You can check the icon to see how long it will be active. There'll be a running countdown letting you know how long you have left. So make sure to find a chest before the timer runs out, as the aberrant cinders don't save after the Helltide ends. When you get close to level 50 and have conquered the first capstone dungeon, unlocking World Tier 3, you can start doing Nightmare Dungeons. Nightmare Dungeons are dungeons which scale in difficulty and can be transformed with sigils. You can receive sigils and catches from the Tree of Whispers and as drops from monsters. You can also take sigils that you don't want to use and destroy them at the Occultist, which will give you a sigil dust, which you can then use to craft new ones. When you look at the sigil in your inventory, it'll show you which dungeon will be transformed and what region it's in, as well as the different afflictions of the dungeon, both for you and from the monsters. These dungeons are great places to farm unique and ancestral items, as well as upgrade your Paragon glyphs. Nightmare Dungeons scale as high as 150. Players can level to 100. I have to imagine this is where the anticipated leaderboard system will play out, and I, for one, can't wait to see it. The last feature I want to briefly touch on is PvP, because even though it isn't exclusively endgame content, it's something that players were not able to experience in any of the betas. PvP is open as soon as you discover one of the designated areas when exploring the world. It's not something that you have to unlock. There are 2 areas set aside for PvP in Diablo IV called Fields of Hatred, and if you aren't into losing an ear, you never have to go there. In the Fields of Hatred, you can either bloodmark yourself as hostile or choose not to. However, a bloodmarked player can still attack you if you aren't bloodmarked yourself. In these regions, you kill monsters or players and farm a material called Seeds of Hatred. You then take these seeds to an altar of extraction, of which there are several in the area, and purify them into red dust, which you can then spend or gamble in a Fields of Hatred town for gears and cosmetics. While purifying your seeds at the altar of extraction, a red circle surrounds the ritual area, which you cannot leave without canceling the process. Other players will be alerted that you were there purifying your seeds and can come attack you. And if they kill you, they take not only your life and your seeds, but your loot. The PvP areas are popular for farming due to the high monster density, but remember, you do so at the risk of an ear. I'd like to say thank you to Blizzard for giving me this opportunity. I really appreciate it. You've made an amazing game. I can't wait for people to get into it. I didn't want to make this video necessarily as a deep dive into builds and Paragon and min-maxing. I just wanted it to be more of a synopsis and overview of what it's like to play the game after the story. So if you've made it this far, thank you so much. Please like and subscribe. And I'd like to invite you to come by my Twitch channel. If you'd like to chill place to hang out as you grind the game and chase down Lilith, we'd love to have you.